Maddie, try hard.
Hey everyone, welcome to tonight's Dancing with the Stars recap.
Last week, Denise Richards was cut loose.
Yeah, so moving on.
2 new dances this week, the Lindy Hop and the Argentine Tango.
Ooh, and this week it's double elimination, so you better bring your A game.
Yeah, and just little FYI, Karina almost wiped out on the stairs, but
there's at least one every week.
Yeah, quick thinking Woz grabbed her and was like, no, not my Karina.
So first up tonight, David and Kim, they did a Lindy Hop.
He's hungry. He wants to be in first, you know? He really is making an effort. Out of all of these celebrities, I think he is definitely the one who's really showing that he's trying a lot. He might not have the ability like the other people do, but I think he gets an A+ for effort.
I don't know if he's trying the hardest, but
he's trying to make it look fun.
Mm-hmm. So to get the feel for the dance, he went out clubbing with Kim.
To Lindy Groove, I think they went. And, yeah, they had a good time. Some of the tricks were a little bit off, but they ended up with a 22. I thought that was about right for them. So Lil Kim and Derek up next. Argentine Tango.
Yes, it was an uphill battle.
But they made it to the top because I thought this dance was a lot sexier and more romantic than I thought it ever could be from the two of them.
I thought some of the leg things were a little weird.
Yeah, it was good to watch. Lil Kim looked great. That outfit that she had on was really flattering, and I didn't realize until tonight how muscular her legs actually were.
Yep.
So they ended up with a 27. That's a personal best for them.
I thought they got that last week too.
Did they?
No, I'm just
All right, Chuck and Julianne up next with their Lindy Hop.
Now, Chuck has the fear that he's going to land on his head.
I have that same fear, but that's just from when I'm like walking around normally.
This was from a past experience.
Okay. The dance was kind of sloppy.
A little bit. It was kind of disjointed.
Yeah, it didn't really have a good flow, and I thought it was pretty much 90% tricks and like 10% dancing. I would have liked to have seen a little more dancing.
Extreme, but
it was fun though, but it was just a little sloppy. And they got a 22. You know, it could have been a little smoother, but
it's good to see that he's actually trying though.
Yeah, and he looked like he was having fun too. Lawrence and Edyta. Yo, LT. Argentine Tango.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to nail this. Especially after Edyta's husband, Alec, showed up to give them a little lesson.
It was definitely creative choreography, though.
It was. He didn't do much, and I think he needed to turn up his sexy a little bit more.
It was a little, like, awkward between the two
Little
of them.
bear in the swamp.
It was kind of weird.
He was stiff. He's got to loosen up a little bit. So they ended up with a 19.
Len was pretty tough. He gave them a 5.
I think that was extremely tough of Len to give a 5.
Mm-hmm.
Ty and Chelsie up next with their Lindy Hop. He's strong. Because, you know, he's like a rodeo dude. So strong is good when you have to do lifts and throw people around like they're bags of garbage.
Yeah. I can't believe it's the same person from week 1. Because
I can't either.
So different now.
He was so shy and so small before, and now he has like totally blossomed, and it's amazing to watch.
Yeah.
Still work to be done, but he looked pretty friggin' great. 25 for them. Steve and Karina, aka the Woz. Argentine Tango. I was so hoping they would have gotten the Lindy Hop, but they got the Tango. He just realized that it's time to work hard.
It's what, week 4?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, he climbed onto his Segway with an army of geeks, and he went out and he worked the streets, trying to get people to vote for him.
So, just like Lawrence and Edyta, creative choreography.
Yeah.
A whole lot of Karina, not a whole lot of Steve.
But what he did was better than I thought it was going to be. I mean, they did have a couple little things going on in there. He could have used a little more conviction, though, when he was walking around. He's just so wishy-washy. Carrie Ann was a little bitch. as well as Bruno. It totally reminded me of when she told Cloris Leachman, somebody good went home and you stayed.
Yeah.
That's how I felt when she was giving her critique. She was like, I can't find anything good to say.
They got a 12.
That was really cold. 3 4s.
I don't understand how they give him, like, 10s and 12s, and then, like, people like Steve-O.
Yeah, who are just in the same boat.
Get, like, a 15.
And Holly Madison, same thing. Melissa and Tony, Lindy Hop. She wants to challenge herself because Carrie Ann said that she was not going to her full potential.
Obviously, she's, like, one of the best ones.
I think she is the best one.
I think so, too.
This was an awesome dance. I thought it was phenomenal. Crazy ass tricks in this one.
But also a lot of dancing. So there was content there.
Her kicks were a little weak.
Yeah, I feel like there could have been a little more oomph in them.
Right. She ended up with a 29.
I would have said 30.
Holly and Dmitry up next with their Argentine tango.
Holly's ribs are like, her muscles are bruised or something from last week.
Yeah, it's not her ribs, it's her muscles that are bruised.
Yeah, the muscles like around her ribs.
And it hurts, but she's not damaging them by dancing. She's just going to have to work through it.
So she's going to be a little sore, a little tender.
Yeah. So they did their dance with this really cheap stool.
You could tell, when you have a stool or something involved, usually it's trying to hide your low skill level.
That I thought was really obvious and not cool. And can you make your movements any smaller? She was totally Susan Lucciing it up at the beginning.
Yeah. Best part, they had an awesome flip thing. Like
that was good.
And then pow.
They got a 16. I think it was just for the flip.
I think so.
Steve-O and Lacey up with their Lindy Hop. He's still recovering too.
And he's really overwhelmed. So what do you do when you're overwhelmed? You break out the clown costume.
In another life, he was a clown in the circus. Right. Well, a couple years ago anyway. And he was pretty good, actually. Not a whole lot of dancing there either.
There weren't that many tricks either.
I know. They didn't really have much to fall back on, and his timing was off.
Yeah.
So they ended up with a 15.
Which I really don't understand.
No.
Considering the Woz got a 12. I just don't
get it. It's not
They obviously have some sort of motive behind their scores.
What it is, I don't know. Gilles and Cheryl up next with their Argentine tango. He has to use his acting skills to pretend that he's in love with her. Especially because his wife is sitting right there.
Yeah, so it started out really like, sultry and sexy, and then the tempo changed and it picked up. And
very passionate.
Yeah.
And, you know, he had such conviction, and the guy liner didn't hurt either. Yeah, they turned up the heat this week, and they got a perfect score of 30. Which I was a little disappointed because I thought Melissa deserved the 30 for hers because with her weak kicks, I mean, in the beginning when his was just the romantic and not the passionate, I thought his movements were a little bit weak too. So I really thought that
then they ended on the high notes. So.
Right. So closing the show, Shawn and Mark with their Lindy Hop.
So, to prepare for this week, Shawn took Mark to the gym.
And put him in a really, really weird outfit that left nothing to the imagination.
That's what they usually wear.
I know, but he didn't have to put it on. They began with a tumbling pass on their dance.
It was really cool.
But not very ballroom. Not much dancing going on in that routine either.
Seriously, like, did I miss something? Because I still saw a lot of dancing
I really didn't see that much dancing, and the tricks that they did were not Lindy tricks, as, you know, opposed to being gymnastics tricks.
I thought they had a pretty good mix. I don't know.
Sorry to be a dancing snob, but it didn't cut it for me, and I totally agree with the judges, giving them a 25. Maybe I would have went a little bit higher. Maybe I would have went like 27. Predictions, we're not making any. Because it's too hard. Who knows what's in the mind of America? I mean, you know, if we made the decisions, we'd tell you who we think was going home. But it's up to America, and they can be a little freaky, especially when they decide to keep people that don't belong on the show.
So tomorrow, performances from Boys to Men.
Kevin Rudolph.
Yeah, and a pro dance performance choreographed by Louie Amstel.
Louie, come back. We miss you so.
Yes.
And this ever-present looming of the double elimination. Okay, that was really funny. Till tomorrow, much love.